Assalamu alaikum again. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being with us in this webinar. We highly appreciated your time and your attention to what we are going to present to you today, and hopefully that we can deliver a valuable message and valuable ideas about what we are doing, and hopefully that will benefit you and your business as well. I'll start with introducing myself. My name is Murad Abu Shaikha. I'm the solution lead here in CNS. My current role is heading the pre-sales and focusing mainly on the transformation. In CNS, we have started this exercise hopefully more than a year back. We have invested heavily on that. We have done a lot of R&D. We start with some of our customers to understand more about what's the pain, what's their plans, the roadmap, and all of this stuff. So actually, we start what we are going to present today from real cases we have conducted, or real cases as an output from some sessions we have conducted with our customers. And as we said, that's even the methodology what we have adopted in CNS. This is the same what we are doing as CNS also. Of adapting all the transformations and onboarding the solutions and building the packages for digital transformation. So today I will not talk much about why the digital transformation or why the digital presence is important for the organizations, because I'm sure that you know more than me, and all of you have been already considered converting into digital, that if you are not there yet. Okay, and today only what we are going to do is just to highlight on some of the ideas mainly related to the front-end digital presence and what is the methodology that we are using in CNS, for CNS and with our customers as well. And hopefully that's at the end of this webinar that we can come up with a conclusion that to see how we can be engaged with you, how we can really be your extended arm, okay, to understand more about what you have and to recommend to you what's really can be a best fit for you to match and to meet your plans and your objective. So CNS Automation, this is the name of the portfolio we have created. So here is just a simple case is that most of the organizations, and CNS is one of those organizations, that we have multiple systems which is required to meet the day-to-day operations for internal and for externals. And we are talking about, let's just highlight some of the main applications or the core application that is required or is there in most of the organization. We are talking about the ERP, we are talking about the CRM, we are talking about sometimes the SharePoints, we are talking about the HR, and none all of them belong to one source of applications. We are talking about different technologies, we are talking about different interfaces, we are talking about different credentials, we are talking about that some of the applications it's working on silos approach or silos situations. That means they are not talking to each other, and then at the end of the day, okay, now when we are talking about digital transformation, this is equivalent to digital experience and how we are in a position to enhance and to optimize our customers' experience while they are using our digital platform. At the end of the day, having those applications, as we said, that those are mandatory for any organizations in order to meet and to fulfill the operations, whether internally or even to fulfill all the applications requested and the services requested by the organization customers. So dealing with 4 applications or more, okay, it's not anymore can be a part of any digital experience or digital transformation. And that's why now the approach and the direction is to have a unified platform. Having a unified platform, that means that does not mean that you need to decommission the applications or the legacy applications or the core applications, what you have it. But again, this is required to enhance the user experience. As we said, always when I'm saying user experience, it can be an internal as an employees or the customers as well. To enhance the user experience, that means we need to provide them with a unified experience, unified platform, unified access, unified process, unified interfaces. This need to be omni-channel at the end of the day. Why? Because the customers now, they can interact and they can communicate through the mobile app, through the laptop, through some of the digital kiosks available in most of the places. So at the end of the day, user experience, that means you need to have a unified experience across all the channels, and that's why we call it an omni-channel. In CNS, we have adopted this and we have considered this, and accordingly, we are offering and we are recommending to have this digital experience as a low-code platform. Why we are talking about low-code platform? Low-code platform, first of all, it's integrated with everything, with all the applications through an API, through and direct integrations, through database integrations, through all the channels is supported by the low code with integrate with any legacy or any core applications you have it in the back end. So first of all, that we can kill and we can avoid any challenges when it comes to the integration between this the user experience platform and the current traditional core applications what you have it. The second thing, low coding, that means you can implement this in a very short period of time. You don't need much time to do the development of this unified or this user experience platform. The effort accordingly, it will be less developing this, because at the end of the day, you will focus more about the business process. You will focus more about the integration, not on the coding, because it's a low coding. That means it's required just a little coding to reach out, having this platform on top of the core applications what you have it. The time required also will be very much less comparing with any other applications to be adopted or to be considered on this layer. So we said that we need to unify the user access, the user experience, by having an additional layer on top of the current applications what you have it. So all the access will be to this layer. Second thing, we need to enhance and to simplify the user access. How we can simplify this? By, first of all, that we need to have this low coding platform to be available in a very short period of time, to adopt any changes it's required from time to time, because we know that the business is changing day by day, and accordingly you need a platform to accommodate and afford the changes in a less time, less effort. Okay. And the third thing is that you need this platform also to be the base and the foundation for any future applications required to be implemented, because we know very well that at this point of time, that most of the organizations, they have been, I don't want to say that they have been forced to convert into digital, but at the end of the day, the business model has been changed at this point of time, and everything now it's become digital, everything is become online, and it's very much common statement now available for everyone, and everyone is talking about it. If I can do it online, I will do it. I will keep doing it. It's not something related to the pandemic what we are facing right now today, because most of the people, they already tried this, tested this, and I think they get used of that. And for sure, when we are talking about the technical aspects of that, usually if you can do something online, why you need to do it physically? So this online, that means you need to be prepared. You need to have this platform. You need to really let the customers and the employees to enjoy while they are using your services through accessing or through this platform. So again, why the low code and why we choosing the low code? Low code, as we said, that it's speed. That means you can develop an apps in a matter of weeks. You don't need, for example, to spend months to do the installation of the technology, and then can reach out to a year, okay, of developing an applications. And this application, once it's developed, it will be rigid. That means you cannot do many changes on that. Agile, why? Because the system itself, it's learn while it's executing. So you don't need to do all the steps or all the testing, everything before you launch that. So whatever it will be launched, it will be released as an agile approach. And as we said, multiple experience or multi-experience as part of the omnichannel, which is very much important. As per Gartner, 65% of the application development activities by 2024 will be done by low code. And one important thing that, as we said, that for each organization, there is multiple departments. And now for anything related to the applications and related to the digital platform, now the business users, they are the one who's driving that. And accordingly, every business users and every department, they have their own plans and they have their own pipeline of applications. Why? Because as we said now, there is nothing left, okay, to deal with it on a physical approach. Now everything needs to be digital, and that's why each department, they need to be prepared, they need to be ready, they need to be covered that everything can be done online, everything can be done through this platform. And accordingly, as we said, that each department, they have a pipeline of set of applications, and those applications need to be implemented in a very short period of time. Those applications should not require an army of developers to do the development of those applications. And that's why the low code, it can give a great features for the organizations to give a minimum training for the business users or end users with a minimum IT background to be able, or for them to be able to develop their applications on top of digital platforms. So there will be a huge offloading of the effort from the technical team into the business users to let them do developing their applications on their own on top of this digital platform. And again, at the end of the day, within this platform, that everything will be connecting to each other, everything will be unified. The same experience will be across all the applications, across all the channels, less time, less effort, and also the commercial and the financial part is very much competitive comparing with any other applications. Now, today we are talking about three main factors or elements, that's or KPI actually, that's most of the organizations that are looking at it. The first one is the availability. As long as that you are announced that you are online, that means you need to be available 24/7. The availability of 24/7, this does not mean that you need to have an online services or an online platform to be available at 24/7. That means the whole operations need to be available 24/7. Transparency, this is very much important because all the organizations need to have this transparency layer between them and their customers. And as we said, customers means internal employees and external customers. Transparency, that means I can connect, I can query, I can ask, I can communicate, I can interact at any point of time. I can inquire about the status of my applications. I can ask what is the process and what is the steps required to do this application and to fulfill the services, if I'm eligible or not. All of this, it has to be in a transparent approach. Not all the information might be available, and that's why the technology and the platform should also be capable to cover this and to overcome anything related to not to make you transparent. SLA also, it's important because everything now it's linked with the time. Without time, we cannot say that there is a process and there is a services, because now every service and every process is dependent on the other one, and accordingly, without having these dependencies, without having these SLAs, we cannot have this right platform or right unified platform. Accordingly, the SLA, it has to be unified, it has to be there, it has to be agreed, it has to be understandable. Why? Because it can let, as we said, that the end user and the customers plan accordingly for the next action item. So if the organization commit that I will finish this transaction or executing this transaction or review this transaction or application for 24 to 48 hours, that means it has to be done within 24 to 48 hours, especially here when we are talking about the UAE, this SLA is something that very much strict about it, and it's really impact and affect the overall KPI of the organization. And we know very well that the organization, they are considering this as a high priority. Now, we talked about how you can unify, how you can optimize, how you can enhance your user experience by having this digital platform as a front end. So the customer will not worry that there is a lot of applications in the back end ready and available to process the service and the application requested by this customer or by this end users. All what he's worried about it, that he's accessing one single applications, all the process, all the application inside this one single applications, one unified business process, one unified interface, and all of this stuff. But again, at the end of the day, in order to achieve what we talked about it when it comes to the SLA, when it comes to the transparency, when it comes to the availability, at the end of the day, having this digital online or digital platform is not enough anymore. Why? Because online, that means it allows you to apply for the service online 24/7. But at the end of the day, when we are talking about SLA is not related to the availability of the online. It's related to the execution or the timeline required to do the full execution or to execute the service or the application. This one or this SLA is not related, and it should not be related to the working hours. It should not be related that if it's a weekend or not. It should not be mapped to one single employee at the organization. If he or she available, that means the transaction or the application will be executed or will be reviewed. No, this is not the solution, and it will not be the solution. Accordingly, in CNS, we have found out, or we have adopted, that there should be a back-end automation platform where it will be linked with a digital platform, what we talked about it. This back-end automation, it can really help the organization to fulfill the three main KPIs we talked about it, which is achieving the SLA, being transparent with their customers, and last but not least, which is of the availability of 24/7. So by having this backend automation, if I apply on Friday, for example, at 10 a.m. in the morning, and I know that the SLA for my transaction to be fulfilled or to be completed, it's required 48 hours. So I can expect that the maximum time to have an answer or to have this service completed is by Sunday, 10 a.m. So it took complete 48 hours. But if I don't have this application, or if I don't have this platform as a backend automation, that means I will start counting off the SLA as a 48 hours from the 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. Sunday. So that means there will be a 2 days waste, which I don't think so should be the case for the organization, especially that if there is a technology available where it can overcome this challenge and it can really help the organization to comply with the three KPIs what we spoke about it. Backend automation, most of the organization and most of the customers, what they know about the automation, they know that it's an RPA. RPA, yes, it's a great technology. RPA is the main solution. RPA is the main tool where it can help you to automate and to convert all the human process for any services or application into an application or software where it can automate all the repetitive tasks based on whatever instructions it can give by the entity or by the organization. But at the end of the day, when we are talking about services, when we are talking about applications, when we are talking that your digital presence will be available for your customers, for the citizens, for whomever, we know that more than 70% of the applications or the services is required the information to be filled by the customer, and also the customer should upload some of the supported documents in order to be compliant and eligible to submit the request. So RPA, it's an intelligent, and this is a great platform or a tool to deal with whatever data has been filled by the end user or by the customer. But what about the information available on the supported document? When the organization will request that the user need to fill the information and attach some supported document, that there is an ID behind it where they need to ensure that, for example, that the one who submitted for this service or for this application is eligible. They are, for example, residents here in the UAE. They have a valid visa, whatever the reason. So that's why they have asked to attach those supported documents. So if the RPA will read only the data inserted or the data filled by the end user, but it will not be able to read what the information or to validate the data filled by the end user and the information available in the supported document. So I don't think so that we will be able to execute the service or to execute the application based on this. Why? Because as we said, that we need to consider all the information filled by the end user or the customer. Accordingly, we need to have more intelligent platform where it can understand all the information provided by the end user, by the customer, whether it's structured, that means the end user or the customer, they have filled this information through the applications from the digital platform, or from the information which is there in the supported document, regardless if it's a PDF, if it's a Word, if it's an image, regardless of that. So again, at the end of the day, this cognitive automation platform, what we are talking about it, it's capable to extract all the information from the data filled by the users through an RPA, and also extract the information available on the supported documents through an OCR. So once we have this information available, so we will start executing the services as per your organization process or the workflow. First of all, we need to validate all the information if it's correct or not. All the information are linked to each other. There is no expiry in any of the documents provided, etc., etc. This depends on whatever checklist that you are going through in order to take this into the next step. The second thing, what our cognitive automation is doing is to understand. We are extracting, validating, understand all the information what I spoke about it, and then it will shift this or move the next step of executing, as we said, as per the workflow or the business process what you have it. Now, if you are saying that I don't have, as long as I'm using the manual stuff as we speak or as of today, so I don't have a proper workflow or business process, we will say that yes, our cognitive automation also, it has its own business process and workflow where we can develop this also to eliminate all the manual stuff what you are doing right now. So first of all, we started by having this digital platform as a unified user experience where the user, they can access only one platform. They can fulfill all the services, applications, whatever, through one single platform, one single user and password, one unified interfaces. Then the user, they need to ensure that the application is transparent, where they can ask at any point of time about the status of their application or their services, and they can get an immediate and instant answer to that. Why? Because system. Second thing, SLA. When I submitted something on Friday and I know that it will require 48 hours, so I can plan that I will go into the next step on Sunday at 10 a.m. because this is the deadline of receiving the completion or receiving an answer or response on the completion of my application. The third one, which is what we talked about it, the availability. So if I will submit this on Friday, that means it will start on Friday. It will not start on Sunday when the employee will come to the office. So this is when we are talking about digital platform and talking about the back-end automation. So here we're talking about the RPA, we are talking about the cognitive automation, talking about the embedded RPA analytics. So all of this are available on the same platform. All what we are talking about it today, that's we are extracting whatever information from structured and unstructured data, from the documents, PDF, images, and also from the data which has been filled by the customer. We do understand what is this and for what. And then we will be able to trigger the workflow and the business process to execute this as per the required workflow and the required business process. So this is what we are talking about it as part of the cognitive automation. Now, we are saying that most of the organizations, especially the government entity and even the non-government entities right now, when we are talking about the digital presence now and the conversion from physical presence into a digital presence, that means they need to have some assistance to all the users who are accessing their digital presence. Now, for example, if you have a digital physical presence, like if you have a shop, a retail shop, if you have a customer care service center, if you have whatever, in any organizations, in any places that physically you are visiting, you will find the first thing you will find when you are entering is someone like an informational kiosk, okay, or informational officer, where you will go and ask, depends on what is your needs. For example, if you are going to a customer care service center, when you are accessing, you will ask that, yes, I'm here to apply for this service. What I need to do? What is the documents required? Where is the desk, for example, is responsible for that? How can I get, for example, the token number? How I can apply? How many days or how much time it will require to accomplish this or to fulfill this? So all of those questions, it's normal questions, and actually this is what I'm doing, and most of the people that are doing when they are going physically to any place to apply for any service or even to do whatever job they need to do it. Okay, because we know very well, because of many things we are doing it in our day-to-day. I don't think so that we are remembering what we need to do in this place or in this service center because we visited this 1 year back or 2 years back. So that's why always we need someone to remember us, we need someone to help us, we need someone really to optimize, we need someone to simplify, we need someone to give us the shortcut to reach out to our objective in a very short period of time. Accordingly, when we are having digital presence, how we can convert this informational kiosk officer into a digital informational officer. Today, we are talking about an AI chatbot. The chatbot, it can act like an informational kiosk or informational officer in all your digital channels. We are talking about the digital platform, we are talking about your website, we are talking about your social media, and even though if you have our verified WhatsApp or if you have a WhatsApp, the digital or the chatbot, it can be available over there. So the benefits, we can say that it can manage and automate the customer interactions from email, social media, live chat, whatever. So even though if you are communicate with this digital presence as a social media or through an email or through a texting or whatever, the system itself is intelligent enough to understand, and accordingly it will answer or it will execute, depends on the transaction itself. It will auto answer according to the customer input or route the digital request through a live agent if it's required, but we know very well that it might be required in the initial stage, but among the time the requirements or the request to interact with the live agent will decrease by the time. Why? Because if we feel that this digital chatbot can answer all our inquiries, can respond to all what we are asking of, why we need to interact with a live agent. So, and this chatbot or this digital presence or digital assistance, we know very well that also it will require some time to be trained, it will require some time to learn, and this learning, it will come from the communications with the customer, the communication with the end users, and also it will be updated from time to time with the content, with the knowledge base from the internal team in order to make this digital assistance and digital presence up to date with all the information in order to share the right and accurate information with the customer. This digital assistance, as we said, is not only about someone who's available in your digital presence just to answer your inquiries. At some point of time, if you need, for example, just to submit a case, to submit an application, this digital presence, if it's integrated already with your backend system, with your core systems, okay, so it will take on their own, or it will take this request further and implement or execute or apply on the customer behalf and return back to the customer with the results and the inputs. And if there is any other additional information required, any documents required, whatever, it will be like, as we said, digital assistance. It will communicate, act like a messenger between the system, backend systems, and the customers who's using your systems digitally, online, through mobile, through website, through PC, through laptops, through any kiosk, by this approach. And as we said, last but not least, when we are talking about the chatbot, today we are talking about is not only about your website, it's not only about mobile app, it's not only about your digital platform. Now we are talking about WhatsApp. We know how WhatsApp now it's become a common communication between most of the people now. All the business is happening through the WhatsApp. All the friendship or the communication between the friends, it's happening through the WhatsApp. Most of the content, most of everything, it's available on WhatsApp. So it will be very much easy for everyone just to deal with WhatsApp, to forward whatever content, to forward text, to just copy paste and be interact with an organization or with the systems through the WhatsApp. And accordingly, the system, what we have, it is integrated and is certified to work through WhatsApp. And if you have a verified number, so it will be easy just to embed this chatbot within your verified number on WhatsApp, and will be the communication channel between you and your customers from now onwards. Okay, now we talked about the three main layers. We assume that will be the trends, will be the future for any organizations who are thinking that they need to convert, or they need to move, or they need to optimize, enrich, enhance their digital presence and comply with the three main KPI we talked about it, which is the SLA, the transparency, and the availability 24/7. Those are the three main layers need to be there in order to comply. How CNS is engaging with our customer, what kind of methodology that we consider, and we consider this is not mean that we consider based on our preference. We consider based on some real cases, as we spoke before, based on some initial engagement with our customers, some previous experience, and all of this stuff, and looking at some of the best practice which has been implemented by other organizations inside and outside the UAE. And we found out that we need to consider a special methodology of helping our customers into helping our customers to move into the digital presence or the digital transformation, and let them to enjoy this without having many obstacles and many challenges. So what CNS will do, we will engage with you, we will think together, we will go back, design the solution, work on the plan of how we are going to test this, how we are going to integrate this, and then implement. How we can do that, and what is the meaning of each and every step. The Solution Lab, it's a unique high-value service model designed to turn your problem into solution. Again, we cannot say it's a problem, because there is no problem. All what we are talking today, all what we are trying to do today is to optimize. This is the only thing. Optimize, it can be in different channels, it can be in different meanings, it can be in all the directions. But turn your problem or your current situation into a solution, into reaching the objective within a weeks. And today we are just mentioning 6 weeks, and we will explain later about what's going to happen during this 6 weeks and why 6 weeks, and how we can achieve really what we are talking about it in 6 weeks. A user-centric, fast and reliable approach towards the experiment with the new ideas and developing groundbreaking innovative solutions. Yes, because when we are talking about digital transformation, when we are talking about digital presence, we cannot say that this is something unified, this is something common, that it can be applicable for all the organization. It's not like off the shelf, no at all. For digital presence, digital transformation, or digital experience, it has to be customized, it has to be personalized for each and every customer. Every plan and decision is evaluated around driving core, the idea, user, and user experience. So today, why we are talking about it? Because we need to manage the cost. At the end of the day, we cannot, and we know very well, not all the organizations, they are ready to have a high budget, and this reaching to have a high budget, that means it's required a long time to plan, long time to go through the approval, long time to work on the RFP, long time to assess all the bidders, long time to start preparing for the application, for the implementation, long time during the implementation, and then sometimes that you are not achieving what you are expecting or what you are looking for. So why we need to go through that, while we know very well that this will take much time. It's an expensive solution, an expensive methodology, and the results will not be, most of the time, not as expected. So what we said in CNS, we said that we need to be more innovative, we need to be agile, and we need also to help our customers to achieve what they are looking for in a very much short period of time, less expensive. Achieving the objective, it has to be more accurate, more precise than the current situation. How we are going through that? we are starting with something called like a design as a brainstorm. We are sitting with our customers to do some brainstorm. First of all, we are studying the current environment or the current situation with most of our customers. We start just raising some of the ideas. We are listening to our customers about what they are facing, about what they have in their mind, because at some point of time, the main consultants or the most important consultants is the customer itself, not the solution provider. And accordingly, having this joint initiative or joint activity between CNS and the customer, having some team as a nominated team from both organizations to sit together for a week just to do a brainstorm, to discuss all the possible scenarios, to do some R&D, to come up with just on a high level about that this will be the approach, this will be the solution. After that, CNS team will sit back, will work on something called MVP, minimal viable product. We are not going to do a complete full implementation silosly, sitting back in the office. The customer will not know about what we are doing, and all of a sudden we are coming with a surprise to tell the customer we are finishing and all what you need just to do a UAT, user acceptance test, and all the problems will start arising at that point of time. No, we are not doing that. We will not do that, and we are not recommending anyone to do that. What we are recommending is just to do the brainstorm, to do the MVP. Okay, MVP, that means we will not take much time. It's just a matter of 4 weeks to develop a minimal viable product. This minimal viable product will be the basic product with the basic features, comply and aligning with what is the results or the output of the first stage, which is the brainstorm. After that, we are giving this to our customers. Our team will be with our customers to do some testing on this platform, on this MVP for a couple of weeks. We are talking about 2 weeks. Based on the results, okay, we'll go back, we'll say that yes, the MVP is fulfilling the customer requirement, the customer is happy, so we'll go ahead and do the actual implementation of the final product. We will say that there is some concerns from the customers, some changes, some customization need to be done. So we will go back to the MVP, do this customization, do this personalization, do these changes, coming back into the measure and test before we go into the final product. Let the customer test it. If everything is okay, then we will go into the last step of developing the final product or the final solution. Sometimes after the MVP, the customer will say that no, this is not what we have agreed of it. This is, yes, we were part of the first stage, which is the brainstorm, but the results you deliver to us is not as expected, is not what we are looking for. I think that we need to re-review all the engagement and see how we can shift from the current situation and work on the actual, or work on a product which is meeting more our expectation and our objective rather than what you have developed. So all of this, what we are talking about it, if the customer, they have a concern, if the customer, they ask for a change, if the customer, they ask for more optimization, if the customer, they said, no, I don't like what you are doing, I need something different. All of this, it's happened after the MVP, after only 4 weeks of the initial engagement. MVP is not required to have a fully license of the product. It's not having a complete team who is working on the development. We did not took much time, okay, of developing the MVP. So just imagine all of this, it's happening with the customer, and compare this with the traditional way of developing any products right now. For sure, will be very much cost effective for the customers. Time consumed, okay, to achieve the customer objective. It's very much attractive comparing with the traditional way. The customer will ensure that's what they are looking for. It will be achieved 100%. The customer will ensure that even the consultants who they are working with, they become as part of the team. They know the business very well. They are engaging, and also the products which has been developed as a final product is not, it didn't come as a result of what CNS is doing. It comes as a result of the ideas which has been raised by the customer team or by the nominated team from the customer who was engaged on the initial stage. So all those benefits has been considered, okay, during confirming this methodology as a solution lab to be adopted and to be considered in all of the engagement we have it with our customers. And for sure, the customer, they need to accept this methodology. Other than this, maybe the customer will come and say, no, I know what I need exactly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we are more than happy to work with the customers on whatever preference they have it. But as we said, that what we are talking about it today as Solution Lab is not coming just because we read it somewhere. It's coming based on some engagement, some R&D, some previous experience, some best practices that we looked at it, and accordingly, as we said, we found that this is the right way when it comes to digital transformation. This is the right approach to optimize, to accelerate all the journey towards the digital transformation. We are ensuring and we are confirming to our customers that whatever the results we are achieving, it will be almost 99 or maybe 100% equivalent or identical of what the customer is looking for. Change, it will be very much flexible. Customization, it's very much flexible. They can achieve to what they are looking for in a very short period of time. So design, as we said, that's both teams will be engaged together. Development as an MVP, we are talking about 4 weeks. Measure, where we are letting our customers, and for sure we will be part of it, okay, to do a complete testing and come up with the feedback, okay, as a test results, and see how we can achieve that, how we can fine tune more, how we can optimize more, how we can change whatever required to be changed in order to meet the customer requirements. Implementation, which is converting the MVP as a minimal viable product into final and finished product. At the end of the day, we can create efficiencies, better access to the information, and we can let our customers, okay, and we can give them more time to innovate as we are trying to offload some of the repetitive tasks, some of the things which can be handled by the system, to be handled by the system, and free the customer time to look more into the innovation, to think more about the new ideas, to think more about how they can accelerate, how they can optimize, how they can really give a great experience to their users, whether internal employees or the customers. This is what we have for today.